welcome to another exciting season of Survivor. This time we're in the South Pacific. So it's helicopters, baby! Another redemption twist is coming. So the noobs arrive by boat, but the helicopters arrive with the vets, namely Ozzy and Coach. They are both two-time losers. According to Cochran, the Harvard Law School geek, he immediately started kissing Probst's butt and the vets' butts. He's some self-professed, some sort of superfan with a buff collection. Alright. Right away, they decide whose tribes Coach and Ozzy are going to end up on. Coach ends up on Upolu, and Ozzy ends up on Savai. It's kind of funny that Coach ended up on the tribe that he did, because when they got there and they did like, ooh, first impressions, a mean lady said that Coach was temporary player. Well, that both Coach and Ozzy were temporary players. She's out for blood. Alright, so the first challenge is immediately right there on the beach. Right here, Doctor, in front of everyone? Yes, it's a mini obstacle puzzle challenge, but it's only for Coach and Ozzy. There's also a little luxury thrown in, some fire and some taro root to eat, not to read. It's not that kind of taro. So Coach is a little bit fatter than Ozzy this season, so they had to dig a hole and go under a log, and it took Coach a little bit longer to fit under there because he's larger than Ozzy, and he's older. But the puzzle at the end was really difficult, and the people on the tribes were allowed to coach Coach and Ozzy, and Ozzy took direction really well, and he ended up winning, but Coach just didn't get it, so he lost. And everybody on his new tribe is now disgusted by him, except for Edna. They all like walked off and left him in the dirt. She helped him carry his stuff though. Alright, so at Savai tribe, Ozzy likes Semhar, because she's a poet, and she's kind of pretty. Kind of. And he basically doesn't want to work too hard. He tells everybody, hey, let's relax, don't work too hard. And they all go swimming. And the geek, Cochran, was very reluctant to strip down to his underwear because he's extremely Woody Allen pasty. And he just made it worse by calling attention to himself. He could have taken that buff and put it on like a little wiener skirt or something. Then it wouldn't have been so noticeable. That would have been worse, I guess. I don't know. The guy needs to loosen up about 20 notches. Alright, interesting people on this tribe. There is Jim, the medical marijuana dispenser. I didn't even know that that was a job. I thought that, you know, like you go to the pharmacy and get medical marijuana or whatever. I didn't think you actually had to go someplace separate, but apparently that's his gig. There's Papa Bear. He's some sort of NYPD retired guy, but he is also a self-professed gay bear. I gotta say, I freaking love him. I absolutely love Papa Bear. Everything about him. Alright, and there's Dawn, the English professor. She was a little bit nervous, like a chihuahua. She dumped the water first day. Well, maybe second day, I don't know. But when they were making the fire and everything. And she's freaking out a bit. Okay, a lot. Ozzy kind of tries to console her, but... Alright, at Upolu tribe, there's a Russian economics major, and she's already chatting it up with Coach. And she's a little bit better at the Russian speak than Coach is. There's also Christine, the big mouth, who told Coach he was temporary. She's Sneaky Snake. She's already looking for the idol. So Brandon, aka Russell Hance's nephew, doesn't feel comfortable around Michaela, because he's all Christian and she is a lingerie football player, and he senses it. Then I was a little confused because at the end of the tribe scenes, they were watching the stars, and Brandon was all like, there's no stars in Texas, this is amazing. Hello, then why did they write, the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas? Really? Alright, so it's time for the immunity challenge. It's an obstacle course, of course. Upolu had the lead. The details doesn't matter. But they were then neck and neck, and it was so close. At the end was a coconut shoot-off to raise the flag, and there were just one coconut separating both tribes. It was really, really close, but Upaloo wins. And they got fire too. And if that wasn't enough, oh my God, they got a hidden clue for the hidden immunity idol back at camp. So when they got back to camp, everybody was looking for the clue, and I think it was Stacy. She completely missed it. I don't think anybody found it yet, otherwise they probably would have shown it. But yeah. At Savai, however, Semhar is immediately trying to do some damage control because at the end of the challenge, Jim totally called her out in front of everyone, including Jeff. How embarrassing. Jim was giving her a hard time. She's turning it around on him. Nobody's buying it though. I don't think they really like her, except for Ozzy. Ozzy wants to keep her and get rid of Cochran. And Jim runs and tells Cochran, and Cochran's like, why don't they want to keep me? I'm not the weakest. So they go to tribal council, and Jeff does his customary probe sting. Dawn, yes, she was a hot mess, but she's pulled it together with the help of Ozzy. And Semhar, yeah, you better believe she's worried about going home, because she sucked at the challenge. By the way, are those bad circles under her eyes, or is that just like 3-day-old makeup? Because it was really scary. I'm talking zombie circles. Alright, if anybody knows, leave it in the comments. Cochran, yeah, he's worried too. He's the other possibility for this week. And you know what? He turned on his Harvard Law School charm. He wasn't born last night, kids. He doesn't go to Harvard for nothing. He went about campaigning to keep himself, which I'm sure he probably did at camp as well. But he just added to it more tribal for Jeff's benefit, because Jeff can't be there for everything. That's why they have tribal council. So it's time to vote, and Semhar, the poet, does not know how to spell Cochran. She wrote Cochran. Okay, it's kind of essential that a poet would know how to spell. Alright, so she ends up getting kicked off. Not even Ozzy voted for her. The only other vote, other than votes for her, were for Cochran, and that was her vote for Cochran. Probably she hated herself so much, but she couldn't vote for herself too. So, she's at Redemption Island. She's crying like a baby. She doesn't know how to make fire. She's freaking out. Next time on the show, Coach suspects that something is up with little Brandon Hans. He's got some tattoos he's trying to hide. Let's see if Coach can sniff it out. So till next week, much love.